SHIFT 2012, a three-step pathway to global peace and economic sustainability, by Ilonka Harezi. Written for the St. Petersburg Economic Summit, June 16th to the 20th, 2011. A journalist assigned to the Jerusalem Bureau takes an apartment overlooking the Wailing Wall. Every day when she looks out, she sees an old Jewish man praying earnestly. So the journalist goes down and introduces herself to the old man. She asks, "You come here every day to the wall. How long have you done that, and what are you praying for?" The old man replies, "I've come here to pray every day for 25 years. In the morning I pray for world peace, and then for the brotherhood of man. I go home with a cup of tea, and I come back and pray for the eradication of illness and disease from the earth." The journalist is amazed. "How does it make you feel to come here every day for 25 years and pray for these things?" she asks. The old man looks at her sadly, "Like I'm talking to a wall." This is how many have felt through the ages, because the idea of global peace is not a new one. It is a concept that we understand thoroughly and often visualize. We talk about it. We demonstrate for it. We write poems and songs about it. We raise vast quantities of money to achieve it. But the wall doesn't give up anything in return. I believe the reasons it's not materialized are threefold. Number one, no one has ever thought to market peace and look at it as if it is a product, sold at a grassroots level as well as to kings alike through a coordinated marketing effort. After all, we all like to shop and buy, so why not base this most important and highest goal on economics and something we all like to do? In order to achieve this long-term goal, as well as sustainability, SHIFT 2012 utilizes the principles of good marketing practices and economic viability. Number two, no one has ever generated a plan that employs the tools we have available right now at our disposal, and money that we have right now, odd as that may seem, and people that are already engaged in the process. All these three essentials require is organization on a global scale, which can be built, but nothing else that is not already at our disposal. Impossible? No. Everything we need is within our grasp. Today, we will explore how to use the fundamentals we have to make a global transformation that will not change any infrastructure, merely make it function at a higher and more competent level. No special laws are required, no dogmas transgressed, no toes stepped on, just pure organization and tackling the issue in a brand new, creative, positive way. Number three, no one has ever come up with a plan that was sustainable. Concerts, charitable events, lectures, studies all make us feel good, but are never sustainable. Discussion, action, and future strategy must be planted and implemented now. This is done through a three-step plan that culminates in the empowerment of our children to achieve the goals we are setting into motion today. From this day forward, we are laying down a legacy to them and future generations to come, all with a strategic and focused, sustainable plan that is already operating in part, but not organized to be effective. The plan is a little piece here, a little piece there, and pretty soon all the pieces will fit together to make one big piece everywhere. SHIFT 2012 provides a roadmap for the creation of a common pathway in reducing world hunger and economic strife while advancing prospects for world peace. The United Nations feels we should study the matter. So let us look at these impediments to peace. starvation, disease, gender inequality, etc. All of these are very well known and targeted in the United Nations Millennium Development Goals. Do we really need to see more? Here are some of the worldwide statistics. A person dies of poverty and hunger every 3.6 seconds. Every hour and 40 minutes, a bride is burned for not having a sufficient dowry. A child under the age of 10 dies of dysentery every 14 seconds. Every 90 seconds, a woman dies from childbirth. In Africa alone, a child dies every 30 seconds from malaria. Every 15 seconds, 2 people will become infected with HIV, and 1 child will be orphaned by AIDS. In the time it takes me to give this speech, 1,800 hectares of rainforest will be destroyed and totally lost. Ladies and gentlemen, there is no time for further studies. Do we really need to study this any longer? The world says no! Peace, to have meaning for many who have only known suffering in both peace and war, must be transformed into bread or rice, shelter, health and education, economic sustainability, as well as freedom and human dignity. Peace is not something you wish for. It's something you make, something you do, something you are and feel within you and around you, and something you give away. When the power of love overcomes the love of power, the world will know peace. Therefore, what we will discuss today is an action plan geared to use viable and strategic efforts we now have at our disposal to turn around human consciousness to a model of abundance rather than scarcity, and in its regeneration, the achievement of world peace. Charles Darwin said, "It is not the strongest of the species who survive, not the most intelligent, but those who are the most adaptive to change." That change is what we have just witnessed on this screen, and that must be turned around. A total change in the plight of our fellow man. And we will achieve this in a 3-part plan called SHIFT2012 that is made up of the immediate plan, Unthink Link, the intermediate action plan, working at a grassroots, and the long-term empowerment of our children, JYBA. Unthink Link, a social website that promotes discussion and communication. Facebook and the social networks are changing the political infrastructure of the planet, toppling and changing governments and dictators. Social networks are working globally to change the communication between all charitable organizations, NGOs, corporate social responsibility programs, etc. We have to unthink the old ways of programmed communication and open up a pathway of transparency and sharing between organizations that are trying to make a difference, but are not focused together to share insight, promote programs that are distinctive and viable, as well as capture capital and volunteer assistance, and most of all, to have it available in one place. Just in adopting this wave of thought, we have taken down old crumbling walls of jealousy and mistrust, blood-stained bricks of frustration, misunderstanding and prejudice, and put teamwork back into mutual respect. Suddenly, the wall is not so grim. It begins to give feedback, and in turn, produces communication that will change trends and overcome seemingly unsurmountable hurdles. The components of Unthink Link include the following. First, create a collective, transparent, and dynamic streaming website that is easy to use, which models Facebook, requiring no learning curve and will be viral and social in nature. The format will have real-time, up and download ability to be shared and utilized on a daily basis. This site would connect to all CSO records and other databases that contain information on any and all not-for-profits, governmental, and non-governmental organizations. Unthink Link will bridge all areas of communication and information highways needed to implement a productive, interactive data-driven site utilized to educate the public, raise funds, appeal for volunteers, mentors and consultants, enable visitors to attend and share video conferencing events, archive important meetings, and create a new system that is environmentally friendly. UNTHINKLINK will provide vital information in real time with video streaming, video conference calls for meetings, as well as provide educational arenas and areas of assistance, which negates the need for travel. All meetings will be archived and some available for membership sharing and access. A meeting place tab will enable all who are invited to join in if the parties so wish. With the Unthink Link system, all nonprofits can be paperless within 1 year. Postings and announcements will only be a click away to reach governmental agencies, universities, corporate and social responsibility resources, and other viable interested parties. Postings can be immediately answered and all can be processed without individual email attention. All affiliates can post reviews, daily to weekly monthly posts, video and photojournalism for all members to comment, question, or utilize. The Unthink Link search engine will enable fast recovery of all data, whether it be meetings, streaming, or informational stats. Video postings in the field can be uploaded and visual rather than written reports, cataloged by date, subject, and the associate's name. I think Mother Teresa would have liked this better than a long and monotonous written dialogue, and we would have had her speaking to us forever by reviewing her words. All members can have access with a password, but certain parties can be blocked access to certain delegated tabs. For instance, the UN can generate information only to NGOs or IGOs and can hold a privileged level of access. The site will have other limited access for investors and institutions, all dependent on their login information. A brief questionnaire will be filled out in which each institution can be given a status graded on accomplishments, much like eBay. The status icon and color will denote length of time the group has been working, whether they are on probation or have done their filings, if they have used appropriated funds wisely, etc. Through action-related postings and achievements, each group will have the ability to achieve a higher and higher level. The higher the level, the more funding opportunities are available to the group. 5-star groups would have immediate postings of funding availability from all sources, while lower grades would have to seek out funding means from the development account and financial tab. This will eliminate 80% of all time spent by the not-for-profits raising money from private and public donors. A budget link will take members to the development account, which will provide easy access to questions on funding, applications to fill out online, protocols, and criteria. Other funding links will be added as other sources are secured. Along with the budget and financial link, a framework will be provided for reporting, requesting funds, and creating spreadsheets. All will address global guidelines of supporting financial data. Alternative funding sources will also be listed with application outlines for letters of submission, historical outlines, and business plan strategies that can easily be filled out to suit each individual case. The SHIFT2012 wormhole will offer a method to get information about needed products, money, and donations both going in and out of the site. On one side, the not-for-profits body will request and solicit a need, that is, money, product, volunteers, information, consulting, photojournaling, etc. Those who are interested in fulfilling the expressed needs will respond through the UW unconditional wormhole. Anyone can assist a group in an unconditional way of giving that contributes directly to the project. A research and study tab will be available where all needs assessment can be provided, posted for information, and where each can be exchanged in real time. The studies can be copied, accessed, and downloaded onto other social network sites. For short informational studies and pilot projects, Blogs can exchange information and experience without incurring expense through shared networking. All documents are available on the database and can be viewed in several languages, along with trainings and workshops online and on video. These can be archived and viewed at any time by all members, and real-time access operates similar to YouTube. Creative contributions will be awarded, and increased status will be given to the member posting the video. A consultant or mentor tab link will offer real-time access for consultants to mentor smaller groups in all business matters and provide insight. A web page inviting members to post a request for a consultant to assist or mentor projects will be modeled after Craigslist. The appointment set up online and streamed live from and to wherever the parties reside. After the consultation, an evaluation is filled out by both sides as to whether the issues were resolved and if there is required follow-up. A volunteer page allows students and others to access postings for volunteers needed for projects, information concerning the needs of the group, as well as engagement level of the volunteer will be exchanged. Dialogue will be immediate on the site, both by email and by voice messaging, as well as online chat. A special section for children assists them to access and view not-for-profits at work. School programs can join in at various levels and provide useful tools or funds. The JYBA project will interact in this partnership and will be explained later. Unthink Link TV, a web-based station, carries the latest news documentaries, daily media revelations, travel information, etc. All of this will be linked to the media and will offer a continual flood of PR for the not-for-profits. The idea is for as much information to be dispersed and to engage as many partnerships for change as possible. An economic tab will bring attention to issues that members are facing regarding the environment and ecological abuse. The media, as well as other members, may wish to take a stake in this issue and assist. The shareholders' analysis is that this one site will allow everyone involved to communicate and help one another to achieve goals. All not-for-profits, NGOs, CSOs, and other groups can work together and communicate to assist each other in an informal, transparent method toward the action section of the plan. There will be long-term sustainability and interaction, with enhanced opportunities for policy dialogue and consulting on all levels. At this point, we will have coordinated the dialogue between all those in service to the planet, saved money on travel, assisted in the collection of volunteers, and made funds available on the site for those who deserve them. At this point, the action plan can be implemented. The action plan, an organized program of building infrastructure stability and economic sustainability that functions on all levels and that is presently working in an incohesive and unstructured manner, but nonetheless is in place. The action plan takes what all nonprofit organizations are now doing, are funded to do, and have the manpower to achieve, but are not focused together as a team to produce. Teamwork will make the dream work. It requires 3 team roles: the builders and trainers, the social services, and the media networkers. Each organization will be put into one of 3 groups that has an intrinsic focus. Like a laser beam created by working together for the first time, the not-for-profit teams will walk into a desperate situation and area, implement the plan, utilize the unskilled labor force, and educate the people of that labor force while building and constructing, be able to institute and administrate social programs with ease while sharing the great strides that the world will want to know about, all the while retreating at some point without leaving any negative footprint to mar the culture of the country. With surgical precision, this approach will begin to erode the mortar of rigidity, to bring down the walls of mistrust, and rebuild human dignity so people will have realistic aspirations of fulfillment and achievement. This plan is not about giving anything. This plan is about building everything, and most of all, the human spirit. We don't want a grasshopper, an ant story to evolve. The ant works hard in the withering heat all summer long, building his house and laying up supplies for the winter. The grasshopper thinks the ant is a fool. He laughs and dances and plays the summer away. When winter arrives, the shivering grasshopper calls a press conference and demands to know why the ant should be allowed to be warm and well-fed while others are cold and starving. All the television networks show up to provide pictures of the shivering grasshopper next to a video of the ant in his comfortable home with a table filled with food. America and other nations are stunned by the sharp contrast. How can this be, that in a country of such wealth, this poor grasshopper is allowed to suffer so? Kermit the Frog appears on Oprah with the grasshopper, and everybody cries when they sing, "It's not easy to be green." Acorn stages a demonstration in front of the ant's house, where the news stations fill the group singing, "We shall overcome." Reverend Jeremiah Wright then has the group curse God for the grasshopper's sake. Nancy Pelosi and Harry Reid exclaim in an interview with Larry King that the ant has gotten rich off the back of the grasshopper, and both call for an immediate tax hike on the ant to make him pay his fair share. Finally, the EEOC drafts the Economic Equality and Anti-Grasshopper Act, retroactive to the beginning of the summer. The ant is fined for failing to hire a proportionate number of green bugs, and having nothing left to pay his retroactive taxes, his home is confiscated by the government green czar. The story ends as we see the grasshopper finishing up the last bits of the ant's food, while the government house he is in, which just happens to be the ant's old house, crumbles around him because he doesn't maintain it. The ant has disappeared in the snow. The grasshopper is found dead in a drug-related incident, and the house, now abandoned, is taken over by a gang of spiders who terrorize the once peaceful neighborhood. Sound familiar? This scenario of penalizing the industrious and rewarding those unwilling to work has never worked anywhere at any time. There is no human dignity on either side. We must build the inner depths of the human spirit, as well as the environment in which it lives. We must teach people to fish, not give them the fish. This is a sustainable approach that will enable and empower mankind to survive at a level of achievement and plenty rather than scarcity. The grasshopper will become productive because he will be educated and shown a better way, with incentives built into the program to sustain and reward his interest and efforts. SHIFT 2012 operates within a defined system of immediate, mid-term, and long-term goals, while empowering government and private sector grassroots groups to work cohesively and unconditionally as a cooperative, focusing on the end object of achieving the UN's Millennium Development Goals, a focused pathway to ending poverty and encouraging peace. With this approach, SHIFT 2012 creates clarity of focus, enabling a unified front in implementing the Millennium Development Goals and other related programs. The components of the action plan teams include the following. First, create 3 groups that the not-for-profits choose as their best fit, and which is organized on the Unthink Link forum. The Builders, the Big Bs. The Social Responsibility Group, SRGs. The Media, Marketing, and Entertainment team, the MM and ETs. First, the builders go in and put up a raw structure that is large and easily constructed with unskilled labor, the people who will be sheltered within it. A large Quonset hut is ideal since it is earthquake-proof and hurricane-proof. This large metal building will be called the Community Development Center, CDC. The first job will be to gather the homeless people together into a training force that will erect the building and who then will move into it for short-term administration and organization, educational processing, as well as census taking, all administrated by the Social Responsibility Group, SRG. After the main building is constructed, the builders can begin to utilize those in training who wish to own their own dwelling, to build lightweight cluster homes around the original structure. Now the people are housed, secure and safe, being educated and accessed. trained in various aspects of building and using heavy equipment or simple tools, motivated to own their own home, and fed properly while being trained how to grow their own food supply. These social responsibility duties will lie with the SRG. The SRG's job is to assist and empower those who are participating to take advantage of the medical assistance that is now available, enjoy healthy food, diet, hygiene, administrate donated items including clothing, receive education and excess levels of education, engage in census taking, and the organization of cottage industry, establish safe houses for women, show concern for the environment, and leave a positive footprint both culturally and socially. Implementing all of these programs will be much more structured and successful because the indigenous people themselves are assembled in one place and will look to the CDC Center to be a safe haven. Their new cluster homes will have microloans available to workers on the project so that they are motivated to work accordingly, thus building their own positive future and know their own efforts are responsible for creating it. Work credits encourage trainees to take care of their equipment. Trainees can earn credits that can be used to purchase the equipment they have been trained on, to create their own business, rewarding them to arrive on time for their job or classes, as well as taking advantage of simple educational classes that will also enable them to earn reward credits to be used to further their own business. Women will be encouraged to plan and build their own cottage industries within the large CDC center once most of the inhabitants have moved out and the structure is no longer needed to provide temporary housing for them. Their children will be nearby in another section of the CDC building attending school. Top designers, donating their time, will lend their designs to the development of cottage industries so that local artisans can readily command and achieve higher price points for their goods, thanks to SRG's training of quality control methods. The women can also participate in fish farming, raising produce and spirulina, as well as other endeavors that will sustain the area long after the program has moved on, and to which the inhabitants are no longer imperiled by the elements. Soon after the people are assured of their ability to provide sustenance, parts of the building can be given or rented out to foreign investors or other industrial enterprise so that the workforce is within minutes of the workplace. The program itself can create a market for manufactured goods to ensure success and viability, and the MM&ET's job will be to locate those markets for the goods and set up the system to move the goods from manufacture to retail. Their job will also entail making it fun and entertaining, motivating and inspiring, and finally, making the world aware of what is happening in this area and who the heroes really are, who are leading the newly organized community. MM&ET's job will also encompass bringing children into the project and making them part of its growth and organizational process, encouraging their ideas and creativity. The MM&ET's job will be to photojournal the project, create documentaries, write and send out media releases that detail the former human struggles that are being overcome every day. This endeavor allows the world at large public to deeply understand what people face, so as to inspire the public to donate and to participate in forming the outcome of adopting a village, down to performing simple media tactics of providing text messaging assistance or monies to bridge a gap in the program that was not budgeted. These PR and marketing skills will be in the hands of the MM&ETs to manage, organize, and administer. With the media and entertainment segment of the MM&ETs in place, everyone is entertained and gets to relax and enjoy good news for a change. Ample news and media would be generated daily, even hourly, as breakthroughs are accomplished. Whole societies are raised, diseases eradicated, thanks to strategic, consistent, and logical methods of administration. It will be the job of this team to make sure everyone is credited for their work, and in so doing, will motivate others to participate in order to gain recognition as well. Furthermore, this community will provide and be responsible to produce documentaries, raise awareness by entertainment venues, and coordinate general media conferences and releases. The world needs to know that it is being so positively transformed and how this is being accomplished. This alone will change consciousness on the next level, bringing it from the village, desert, or rainforest to the city. The walls now talk and are beginning to feel assured that humanity will survive and live to experience peace and happiness in their lifetime, and live longer in order to celebrate their grandchildren's success. At this point, the Unthink Link website discussion and interaction is in place, utilizing a media strategy that is successful and easy to access. Now, a grassroots action venue is building and planting the social foundations that a well-defined society requires for growth: shelter, education, medical care, training, security, along with a fundamental and basic way to feed themselves without outside assistance, opportunities for export and marketing of their cottage industry products, as well as an opportunity to share with the world their achievements. Finally, the far-reaching goal of perfecting and achieving the United Nations Millennium Development Goals for 2015 can be achieved by instituting a program built especially to empower children: JYBA World, Joining Youth by Action Worldwide. If we are to teach and reach real peace in this world, and if we are to eliminate war, we shall have to begin with the children. And to do this, an appealing marketing plan for children to enable peace must be put into full operation. This must enable children to create and nurture themselves while parents and families participate with them to achieve its loftiest goals. The village will not raise the children will raise the village. While we try to teach our children all about life, our children will teach us what life is all about, and to achieve the peace we seek. How does the JYBA Children's Program work with the programs outlined above? Actually, marketing is a key component of all the aspects of Unthink Link and the action plan, as each, in their own way, will move money, cause economic stability, feed hungry bellies, and reinstate human dignity to a level of recognition. But the main part of this plan, which will ensure sustainability of the program and the well-being of the future citizens of this planet, are our children. The future and sustainable plan is all about them, geared toward them and marketed to them, so that they are passionate to fulfill the goals they set for themselves and posterity. As in all marketing plans, there must be a theme, a logo, an icon that represents that theme or mission, a marketing strategy, a hook that will be fun, entertaining, saleable, have a perceived value, as well as be uplifting and educational. Since it is global in scope, a trend must be established and carried through in the products and sustainable items, as well as the licensing aspects. The other criteria that is applicable in this situation is that it must be tied to the other intermediate and action plans so that they echo and reflect each other's values and play off of each other's strengths by influencing strategic media ties. The driving force is the children's own creativity and empowerment to produce a better, safer, more environmentally cognizant and peaceful world. Marketing peace and love can prove to be difficult. The first task is to find a word that means all the warm and secure ideals that peace and love stand for, but what are not overused, trite words. So we went to children and we asked them, "What is love?" They answered us very simply. Billy, age 7, said, "When somebody loves you, they say your name differently. You just know your name is safe in their mouths." Love means you have to feel safe. Christy, age 7, said, "Love is when you go out to eat and you give someone some of your French fries and you do not ask them to give you any of theirs." Love means sharing and giving. While Bobby, age 7, knew that love is what's in the room with you at Christmas when you stop opening presents. Love means family and unity. But it was Nika, also age 7, who gave us the biggest hint. If you want to learn to love better, you should start with a friend who you hate. Love means being unconditional. Already, we found empowering children will allow them to creatively solve the most difficult problem. Unconditional, a word that wraps all the great religions into one inspirational voice, is their fundamental battle cry. It means being secure. It means sharing and giving. It means family and unity with no borderlines of jealousy or hate. The children told us we simply have to hear each other, acting unconditionally to achieve the miracle of peace. Deep listening is miraculous for both listener and speaker. When someone receives others with open-hearted, non-judging, intensely interested listening, spirits expand and consciousness is raised. Unconditional love changes everything to peaceful existence. Going back to our marketing model so we can effectively reach children, we had to pick an icon that represented being unconditional. It was Marianne, age 6, who guided us in this aspect when she said, "Love is when your puppy licks your face even after you left him alone all day." We realized that if you put your wife or husband in a car trunk on a hot day with your dog, when you open that trunk several hours later, the only one of the two that is going to kiss you is your dog. That is a perfect act of being unconditional, and only made the decision stronger to use a little Chihuahua dog as the logo and mascot. For it was JYBA, the Chihuahua dog, who would help to teach children the lessons and blessings that they would need in order to change the world. From this place, a logo vision, songs, books, and creative cartoons were written and documentaries completed. It also inspired a line of healthy toys using JYBA the wizard dog as the main character. This sustainability model, married together with a strong marketing approach, is assured to create economic growth platforms that will sustain the group to proceed with the project and not be dependent on outside funding. The products would even tie in with Unthink Link and the Action Program, so the cottage industries would be able to produce healthy toys and other commodities using recycled goods assembled by top designers, incorporating cultural colors and design patterns. These items would be sold through the JYBA marketing partners in upscale department stores at a higher price point than typical tourist trinkets they would tend to fashion themselves. We have done pilot studies with the untouchable women in India, as well as in China for nomadic families who live in the high Himalayas. Each group was able to warrant a high price point for their goods and successfully market their products globally. The components of the JYBA World Peace efforts are: a tested pilot program called the DREAM Project would be introduced in all schools to encourage children to become aware of the Millennium Development Goals and to incorporate them into their lives. The DREAM Project program was instituted 4 years ago in the inner city of Los Angeles. Through the Hero's Journey part of the DREAM Project, children on their own accord went out and worked with inner city gangs, dealt with drug issues at home, and mentored their brothers and sisters. Because of their imagination being stimulated to dream of what they could do, they aspired to and achieved incredible success within their own neighborhoods. The curriculum is such an accomplishment, the mayor of Los Angeles scheduled the program to be introduced into all Los Angeles schools. This curriculum has great promise and empowers the children at school, while the next step pushes boundaries further at home with families and friends. The obvious challenge is to occupy the children's time at home with something positive, creating a healthy toy called JYBA the Wizard Dog, which has a health aspect thanks to the use of soft laser diodes, which assist the body to heal itself from bumps, scrapes, sore throats, and other small issues children experience. But more importantly, JYBA introduces a child to the world, a global world. When parents buy a JYBA dog, they actually get two. One, of course, is sent to its owner, and the other goes to a child in a hospital, a third world country, inner city, or any underprivileged child anywhere in the world. We will have a database of names to pull from easily because of instituting the Unthink Link and cooperating with the not-for-profits who are in the field. Now the children are bound together as adventure pals, sharing their experiences with JYBA, who is always there to make them feel safe and better. A reality game website has been created where two children have to change the world that is presented in the game, our world, to a new world of peace and coexistence. This world is a place that was executed and created together over the web, both children working to craft a great vision for peace, their vision. After the final levels of the game are achieved, their job together is to take their ideas and manifest them in the real world. A bracelet and timepiece that comes around JYBA's neck is to be worn by the child. It contains nanotechnology that will protect the child from harmful, extremely low frequencies, radiation, and will assist in ameliorating ADHD symptoms that many children face today, from exposure to computers, cell phones, and fluorescent lights. As an extra bonus, the protection bracelet will vibrate on each child's wrist 4 times a day. This vibration will be felt across the world because all the children wearing the bracelet will feel it at the same time. Every time the bracelet vibrates, the children will be reminded that they are not alone, that they are connected to the world of JYBA children, and that they have a very important job: create peace in the world. From the website, songs, documentaries, storybooks, and cartoons will spring. Children the world over will continue the saga of JYBA and his adventure pals, all the while providing the sustainability of having a marketable product to sell and license. This plan is revenue-driven so that it is not dependent on any one source for viability. Awards and accomplishments of children will be on the level of adults, having a Nobel Peace Prize for a child, Academy Awards for film, and Grammys for music. Empowerment of the children will take them off the streets and into the hearts of the world. The global economic-based cottage industries will be manufacturing JYBA products, and these will be numbered and sold as special editions, commanding a higher price to luxury market department stores. Of course, others will be manufactured by our JYBA Partners for Change. Finally, the launch of the program, with your help, will begin in September 2011 with the Unthink Link. Next, in October, with many groups already on board, we will launch the action plan to assemble everyone and focus them on the job at hand. They will work together for the first time to achieve a plan that is focused, achievable, and within the scope of what is already in existence today. With the not-for-profits in place, we can launch the JYBA program for children worldwide in November. This launch will be the largest launch in global history, so we want all of you to take part in it. The first day, all over the world, the letters JYBA will appear everywhere with the help of the not-for-profits and governments. Paw marks will appear on sidewalks and up the side of buildings, heralding JYBA at the top. Children will wake up in hospitals wearing JYBA t-shirts. JYBA will appear written in bold letters in the Sahara Desert, but no one knows who JYBA is. Our media partners can create a huge, mysterious aura that will have people on the edge of their seats waiting to find out what JYBA is. The following day, JYBA flashes for a few seconds on TVs worldwide and on billboards, but no one knows who JYBA is. By now, the media has people worldwide in frenzy. The final and third day, right before Thanksgiving, a very special person will be selected to reveal the JYBA program to the world from the floor of the United Nations, since the UN symbolizes the unity of all. Afterward, from Wall Street, a Chihuahua dog, similar looking to the JYBA dog, will be the first dog to ring the NASDAQ bell. With this heralding sign, stores will open with JYBA products ready to be purchased during the Christmas shopping wave on Black Friday. Of course, there are many details that cannot be addressed in this talk. All of those interested, whether you are working with a government, corporation, or a private person from the media or not-for-profit, I ask you to please seek me out so I can give you the details. We invite you to register and participate in this great peace effort that will have immediate communication and action results. Our carefully and thoughtfully constructed long-term plan will carry us into a peaceful future, a historical future inaugurated here at the St. Petersburg Economic Summit. The paradigm shift of 2012 cannot be achieved and measured only through material or scientific standards of viability, but it will be manifest in widespread, higher quality of life. However, history has shown through these leaps in conscious revolutions that have taken place in the past, transformation has never been the result of action taken by mediocre people. If this was only one truth, on one basis to form assumptions about the nature of existence, obviously paradigms would never shift and discovery would not cease. As Elise Boulding said, There is no time left for anything but to make peace work in a dimension of our every waking activity. What if life on this planet shifts beyond our wildest imagination through 2012? Predictions from the Native American tribes, Nostradamus, the Bible, the Quran, scientific evidence of major Earth changes, and the ending cycle of the Mayan calendar all indicate unprecedented shifts on planet Earth. Is it the end, or can it be the beginning? We believe 2012 is a time of global raise in consciousness, and that we are the ones who will tip the tide this very day, triggering a ripple effect that will create an overwhelming positive change on this planet. No matter how chaotic the surrounding backdrop in the world today appears, we have choices. It is time to awaken to the truth of who you are and witness the impossible that becomes not only possible, but fully manifested. We, those of us sitting here right now, can make that shift possible. We can make a difference. You may be thinking now that it will take a miracle to make this happen, to change and create peace even with this well-conceived plan, and that even this plan of positive thinking will not work. But this we know, an emboldened vision, partnered with vibrant thinking and loving hearts, harmonized with active listening and supported by action, will clear the path for miracles. Right now, we are going to create a worldwide miracle. Turn to your neighbor and look each other in the eye. The truth is, you are looking at yourself. Could a greater miracle take place than for us to look through each other's eyes for an instant? To love someone is to see a miracle invisible to others, as miracles occur naturally as expressions of love. The real miracle is the love that inspires them, and in this sense, everything that comes from love is a miracle. If we have no peace, it is because we have forgotten that we belong to each other. We are most literally one with each other. I leave you with a closing thought from Jessica, who is age 6. In her wisdom, she said, "You really shouldn't say I love you unless you mean it. But if you mean it, you should say it a lot. People forget." We can't afford to forget. Remember the eyes you are looking into. Can you bring peace to his or her life? Today is the first day of remembering that face, that person, that part of you, being in their shoes, unconditionally bringing peace not only to their lives, but the lives of others. To quote Martin Luther King, "We will not build a peaceful world by following a negative path. It is not enough to say we must not wage war. It is necessary to love peace and sacrifice for it. We must concentrate not merely on the negative expulsion of war, but on the positive affirmation of peace. We must see that peace represents a sweeter music, a cosmic melody that is far superior to the discords of war. Somehow, we must transform the dynamics of the world power struggle from the negative nuclear arms race, which no one can win, to a positive contest to harness humanity's creative genius for the purpose of making peace and prosperity a reality for all the nations of the world. In short, we must shift the arms race into a peace race. If we have a will and determination to mount such a peaceful offensive, we will unlock hitherto tightly sealed doors of hope and transform our eminent cosmic elegy into a psalm of creative fulfillment. Ladies and gentlemen, we have our roadmap and psalm of creative fulfillment. It is now up to us to choose and commit to fulfill it and walk its path together. The pathway to peace. Shift 2012. Come, let us make that wall talk. I invite you, in the name of peace, take my hand.